Hello, virtuous thought leaders, scholars, and virtue change agents. My name is Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you today to another talk that I have prepared for you and in service to you and your goals. This talk is called Managing Ethically, and I like that graphic there. Reliability, trust, principle, morality, responsibility, and business ethics. But we can carry this throughout all of our lives and every interaction we have, not just necessarily in business, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the table of contents. Today we will be talking about how can managers influence multiple ethical considerations in organizations. Weigh principles versus organizational mechanisms. Manager as a lens filtering ethical issues and problems. The me generation mindset. Develop strength of character for optimal living. And then finally, conclusion and references. Okay, so I love this graphic here. My leadership cultivates a culture of excellence. Isn't that fun? So that's pretty much how I like to define my leadership style is, working on cultivating a culture of excellence everywhere I go, all of the interactions that I have, through my virtuous leadership style. So there are many different leadership styles that you can choose from. So I do welcome you in researching that and deciding what you want your leadership style and brand to be, and how we as individuals personally and professionally, how we can influence others with morality and with ethics, right? With virtue. So let's take a look at this theme here. How can managers influence multiple ethical considerations in organizations? Managers should have a comprehensive background in important historical and philosophical ethical frameworks. And I cited Cameron and Wynn, 2011, Hartman et al., 2018, and Havard, 2007, 2014, and 2018. You will have a full list of the references at the end of this talk. In addition, managers should understand and practice business ethics for very practical reasons. When managers understand the philosophical basis of ethics, they are more likely to make more reasonable and better informed decisions, are better able to recognize the significance of their decisions, and better equipped to become more aware of ethical issues. Now, think of yourself as that manager, as that leader in whatever you're doing, whether it's in the school environment, whether it's in your work environment, wherever you are. We want to keep these principles in mind as we're modeling our high expectations for others, right? So furthermore, comprehensively studying the theories can aid managers and yourself, because you are a leader, in having the ability to articulate and explain their rationale for making certain decisions. Okay, so it's important for our decision making, right? So weigh principles versus organizational mechanisms. For example, an unpersuasive and vague statement such as, quote, "The organization should do this because it is the right thing to do," unquote, can be replaced with a more convincing and effective statement such as, quote, "The organization should do this because it is good for the health and well-being of people, the environment, society, and the organization," unquote. Managers are asked why they oppose or support certain proposals, and their response can be more convincing, credible, and sophisticated, with comprehensive substance backing up their views. Finally, managers should weigh principles versus organizational mechanisms, the way that we get things done, right? From a practical way. They should also weigh practical versus aspirational, process versus outcomes, and implementation and opportunities when making decisions. Manager as a lens filtering ethical issues and problems. I like this graphic here. Personalize it, right? Personalization in the center. And that is the thing in education these days. Individualized and personalized education and curriculum, right? And so how do we do that? With relationships, building relationships with others, having the correct mindset and the correct philosophy. I always like to say right actions, right behaviors, right philosophy. and of course, innovation. So first and foremost, managers must be virtuous in the traditional sense to model appropriate behaviors and expectations for others. And that's what we do for others that we interact with, right? We want to be, have our high expectations and high standards in every situation that we're in. We want to lead accordingly, right? And be that model for other people. So next, managers can perform as a lens to filter ethical issues and problems by avoiding illicit activities, respecting the environment, supporting responsible growth, respecting conventions and rules, respecting the spirit and letter of the law, contributing to environmental, social, and economic development, and respecting stakeholders beyond shareholders. Managers should have a strong grounding in foundational ethical principles and responsible business practices, as well as a strong desire in promoting the health and well-being of all employees, the environment, society, and the organization over self-centered personal gain or self-aggrandizement. Guiding principles should involve a duty to protect, a responsibility to respect, and a desire to appropriately remedy. I love that last part, right? A responsibility to respect others. Okay, so the next concept we want to talk about is the me generation mindset. When decisions are made, managers should ascertain the facts, determine ethical issues involved, identify the stakeholders, examine alternatives, weigh and compare alternatives, make a decision, monitor, and be open to continuous learning. And that's what you're doing here today. You are open to continually learning and building your competencies in managing and leading others, and leading ethically, with responsibility and morally, right? So finally, when a society fosters the me generation mindset, a self-pride mindset, and a pursuit of materialism mindset over promulgating traditional Christian principles, values, and virtues, then a nation will experience many problems, leading to the collapse of civic responsibility and an erosion of overall well-being and prosperity for all its citizens. This is commonly the pathway toward the downfall of many civilizations throughout history. So, develop strength of character for optimal living. Let's take a look at this graphic here. I love this. So, character strengths. At the top, we have knowledge, creativity, curiosity, judgment, a love of learning, perspective. On the right, we have justice, meaning teamwork and fairness and leadership. Temperance, forgiveness, humility, prudence, self-control. Transcendence, appreciation of beauty, gratitude, hope, humor, and spirituality. I love that. I love gratitude. Humanity, love, kindness, and social intelligence. And finally, on the far left, courage, have bravery, persistence, honesty, and passion for the work that we do. Being tolerant, having modest wants, being truthful, forthright, and honest, having integrity, and being cheerful and friendly are a few of the many virtuous characteristics commonly referred to when defining a fulfilling, integrated, moral, and meaningful life in harmony with others. And that comes from a citation from Arjun et al., 2018, and Hartman et al., 2018. The notion of ethics requires that human beings act for the well-being of others, family, society, and the greater good, rather than self-interest, self-centered, egoist pursuits. This is what traditional Christianity can offer to humanity in all families, societies, organizations, and nations. Having the ability to control one's emotions, manage one's desires, and control one's passions is a learned process that requires investment in time and a desire to develop strengths of character for optimal living. And that's a citation out of Cameron and Wynne, 2011. And Havard has 3 books, 2007, 2014, and 2018. These should be principles taught in every family, society, organization, and nation. So think about this. People don't necessarily have to be Christian as we are, and we can still model and teach many of these concepts, right? Because a lot of these concepts are universal. And they're based on the well-being of all people. So in conclusion, what principles of character are important to you and why? Isn't that a great question? So I will leave that question with you to think about throughout the rest of the week. And here is the reference slide. As you can see, we've got Arjun et al. At the top. Virtuousness and the common good as a conceptual framework for harmonizing the goals of the individual, organizations, and the economy, out of the Journal of Business Ethics. So all of these are pretty good. Let's see, Caldwell. Well, that's why I cited them, because I just loved what they had to say. Caldwell here, Virtuous Leadership, Insights for the 21st Century, out of the Journal of Management Development. So as you can see, virtuous leadership and morality and ethics, it's important in all aspects of life, right? Business as well. Cameron and Wynn, I absolutely love Cameron and Wynn, Virtuousness in Organizations. It's in one of their books published by the Oxford Handbook of Positive Organizational Scholarship out of Oxford University. Hartman et al., 2018, Business Ethics, Decision-Making for Personal Integrity and Social Responsibility. I know that's important to me, right? And I'm sure it's very important to you. And then here are the 3 books by Havard. These are fantastic. I highly recommend them. The first one is called Virtuous Leadership, An Agenda for Personal Excellence. Isn't that great? I want personal excellence, don't you? His next book in 2014 called Created for Greatness, The Power of Magnanimity. And magnanimity is one of the virtues, meaning greatness. So we can develop greatness or magnanimity in ourselves, in our families, in our sphere of influence, in our society, and our nation. And then finally, another book that he published in 2018, From Temperament to Character, on becoming a virtuous leader. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. I love that title. But all of these books are fantastic, so I highly recommend. Then we have Hendricks et al. In 2020, Virtuous Leadership, a Source of Employee Well-Being and Trust. So when we are virtuous leaders ourselves within our sphere of influence, we have the ability, every single one of us, to make an effect on others. We can be that cause, virtuous leadership, and the effect is that well-being and trust in others. And then finally, my book, A Culture of Excellence, Virtuous Leadership Principles for Organizational Success, a Management Plan. I want to thank you so much for raising your own leadership and management competency skills and thinking about how we can apply our traditional Christian virtues, values, principles, morality, and ethics to making right decisions, right? Right actions, right behaviors, right philosophy. I want to thank you so much. God bless you and have a beautiful day.